what really happened is that there's a brand of feed that I'm using for my fingerlings. I will just show you that. So, but I will show you that this brand of feed, I'm not I'm not trying to degrade the name of the company, but what I want to put out is that when I got this is 1.3 for my fingerlings. So when I got it, I discovered that my fishes started dropping. They started dropping heavily. I have well over almost about 60,000 pieces, and in a week's time I lost close to about 35 to 40,000 of them. So I now try to trace what can be the problems. So it now got into a time that I just want to feed them, and I'm trying to medicate the feed to give them. So my eyes now sighted on the expiration date of this feed. So I'm just telling you what is sometimes what is going on. So by the time you look at this now, please, I don't want to open the name of the company. I just want to show you something. I don't want to open the name of the company because this company remains one of my favorite company in feed production. So I love them so much. I use my product for my grow out. I use their product for my seedlings too as well. So I don't want you to see that. So what really happened is that by the time you look at the expiring date, this is best before. The best before said it expires on the 2nd of October 2021. That means this feed has been expired since October last year. So these are, and I went to a particular distributor to buy a pack. That means the full bucket of the product. I noticed that they have removed all the labels from it, but my mind did not tell me the feed is expired. This is not from the company, but to me this is from the people that is selling it. I know that if they should take it back to the company, they may be compensated, because that is where they are doing their business. They have been buying it from them. So these are some of the things that can cause it. I'm just giving you an example of other things that after you might have secured all necessary parts of your fishes to really know what is happening to them, those are the things that can cause your fish mortality. So let me now go back into I told you about the Natarite. I told you about the filtration kit, which is very, very important. This is it, just remove it, and if you want to use it for 1 month, if you want to use it, just insert it. Make sure that you insert it very well into here. Just open it, and at least you have confidence that what is being given to you is very, very good and perfect. And I said I told you about this, and there's something I will want to introduce to you again. I call it the automatic feeder for our little fryers. Maybe those of us that are using a little incubator, this feeder helps you. I will tell you before I finish. I will show you how it looks like before I finish my tutorial for today. So what I want to tell you about today is what we call our palm oil. This is what we call the palm oil. Palm oil to our fishes is very, very important. Many people are not taking this thing very, very serious. I remember when I was growing up, we call this in our place, in any time we are facing any kind of challenges, we call it error. Error is a Yoruba terminology, so we call it error. What this simply means is that in any kind of infection, spiritual, anything you are having, they can ask you to put it at your navel, put it at your forehead. It helps to subdue. If you're having a cold fever, it helps to subdue all that too as well. So this, everybody just knows this as what we use for our transportation. Maybe you want to transport fish from a place to another place, you have to use it. But most people don't really know about the quantity that deserve for 1 hour transportation, that deserve for 3 hours transportation, that deserve for 24 hours transportation, that deserve for 48 hours transportation. At least presently, I do transport my fishes for a guarantee of a preservative means of 48 hours. So I do that. I can transport my fish for 48 hours. Another problem people are making is that if you are using an oxygen gas or you are using an oxygen tablet in order to transport your fish, this as well, you must know about the amount of tablet, amount of gas that can take that fishes at a particular ride. That means at a particular journey. That is where most people are failing too as well. So some people will tell me they would prefer their fishes being taken through an oxygen gas, which sometimes because we do normally likes to use terms of English terms a lot, oxygen tablet. But to me, for my local transportation, even if I'm taking this to Ghana, to Sierra Leone, I prefer using this because the oxygen tablet has a duration. The oxygen gas fails. If the duration breaks, it fails immediately. That means if you are taking it for a ride of like 5 hours and you are told that a liters of water we need, that means a 50 kg of water we need a tablet, and you drop a tablet into the oxygen bag, maybe 10 kilo into it, and you are taking that ride for 5 hours. By the time maybe you met and hold up on the way or anything can happen, and if it fails that 5 hours, it will neutralize and it will kill all your seedlings. But using this, knowing the percentage of the drop and how to preserve it, because there's a way we preserve it too as well, not even dropping alone. We try to preserve the oil inside the water so that the oil will be dropping gradually inside the water, so that this may not cause will not drop the water, will not let the water be congested. That means will not increase the nitrite from the water. But to do this again, we do another thing is that we make sure that before we do our transportation, we leave at least 48 hours free from feeding. We don't feed, so that these occurrences will not partake. So I will be talking about this palm oil today. Very, very important for your fishes. Okay, let me tell you some of the things that this thing does. If your fishes are not really eating, unlike before, we have what we call the palatability of our feed concentrate. That means the response to fishes for the feed. So the palatability, if you want your fishes to be well acceptable for your fishes, you must have a fish oil. And fish oil, before we know where fish oil comes from. It comes from the fishes from the wild. There are shrimps from the wild that they extract fish oils from. So when technology started coming in and more people, more demanding started coming for fish oil, they started using a lot of fish additives, that means fish oil, in order to formulate the present fish oil we are having in the market. So with these two as well, if you are doing your concentration, that means you are doing a locally made formulation, or you are into not even locally made as sinking and feeding too as well. If you are using an extruding, it's a locally made because it's not imported. So you are using that. It's very important for you to have this oil inside. It makes your fishes feed be efficiency. We call it more feed efficiency. They eat very, very well. Again, it works on the reproductive tracts of your fishes. That means it helps them to reproduce, to digest their feed very, very fast. Another thing is that these fishes we are having, they have mucus. When any sign of infection is coming, they started bringing out mucus. So those are the mucus you started noticing at the surface of your pond. For those that are into breathing system, and you started noticing some maybe you are changing your water in the morning, fresh water now. When you are changing the water, you started noticing some mucus by the sides of your pond. So that is telling you a sign that there's an infection that is coming into your fish because they started bringing out mucus. So what this does is that it neutralized the mucus. And inside your water, by the time you are putting it inside your water, it dissolves your nutrient in the water. It dissolves what you call the hydrogen in your water. It dissolves and kills the sulfate in your water. In short, if I will be counting it, I'll be counting out about 20 factors that this does to your water. So let me now tell you what I do. So what I do at this particular time is that because of my water, I started noticing some spills, some sludge. I make sure that I added just a little drop. You can see they are even coming to pick it. Just a little drop into the water. So I'll just add a little drop into the water. So I will still take you back to the water so you can see. As you are looking at the surface of this water now, you can see all these things in the surface of the water. This is telling me there's something wrong presently with my water. And coupled with the present condition, that means the present weather we are having, so I need this to drop on the surface of my water. So by the time I drop it, I will make sure that I will take you back to see the magic that it performs. So in here too, I will make sure that I drop in here too. And another thing you do is that by the time you get to your pond, and make sure that you look at, I told you before, look at where your fishes are. Most of the fishes are under. So that means that tells me that the pH is okay and the oxygen is okay. So I'll drop it into this as well, because this is the afternoon time. The time is around 1 after 1 now in the afternoon. So I can just tell you what the weather is doing to presently. So by the time I drop this in here, I drop it in here too. So I just make sure that I drop it in here. So I drop it in here. I drop it in here. So what really happened is that by the time I do the droppings, you now look at the surface of your water. You can see it now. Look at the surface of your water. The water is clean, and the fishes response. Just look at this one now that we just passed by. You can see the fishes they are not even like this before. They responded. Look at this one. They responded. So if we check this, they responded. So after then, the next thing I do is that after putting them, I will now try to introduce my feed. I will introduce my feed to see the response. Just to see their response. So introducing the feed will tell me one or two things: that how is my fishes really doing? Are they really active enough? So, and two, if your fishes are really responding to feed, that will tell you that you have an edge of growth. That means their growth level will be impressive. Okay, this is the first one. You can see that after putting the oil, all of them are very, very okay. The water is clean. The mucus on the water is gone. So I can now introduce my feed. So as you can see, I'm introducing my feed. So what I will do is that, to the essence is that I will introduce the feed to all the fishes at this particular period. So that means I need to watch the time I'm feeding. And by the time I go around to check, I can see that my fishes are doing very, very good. So it is very, very important for you to know the application of this red oil. So I'm just talking about this red oil today. It is very, very important for you to really understand the effect, the importance, the advantage of palm oil to your fishes. I was in a group and I started. There's a debate going on in the group about that is not useful, is this and that. But me, because is what I've been practicing, it's what I've been using, and is working effectively. And another thing is that if your fishes are sick, I'm just eating you this. If you notice that your fishes are sick, a sign of infection is coming to them, drop red oil on them. The first thing to do is that just drop red oil on them before any medications at all. Before anything at all, make sure that you apply the red oil on the water. And I can tell you countless of things that